Welcome back to Car Mechanic Simulator 2021. Before we start, we've got a slight indication of when we filmed this episode. Can you see the decorations? Yeah, this was filmed a little while ago. But I always try and film stuff quite ahead of time. I get as much recorded as possible just to keep up with all the different content we have coming out. So that's the reason for that. Also, we have kept, as you can see, in-game events on. But also something else we're not going to change. So with one of the new updates, they changed where cars were available from. You can actually change this so they're everywhere. So the barn will have cars you wouldn't normally get there. We're going to keep it off. I kind of still want that sense of realism, that sense of achievement when you finally find a car you've been looking for in the place it's meant to be. So I'm keeping that off. Cars are only available where they are as standard. They also added the window tint toolkit. We're going to buy this now. It's something that we probably won't use very often, if at all, but we'll try and use it at some point when we think we have a car that it suits. It's only £200. It's not a massive break of the bank or anything like that. But yeah, hopefully we'll get to use it at some point. I'm not too sure how it works. We'll figure it all out as we go along. But we'll have a proper look at that when we choose to use it on a car that I think it's worth doing. I'm not too sure what that'll be just yet. We have got skill points to spend as well. So we finished off the strong arms, and now we are going to buy the move faster. You may not notice the move faster or the strong arms, but it'll probably make a difference in terms of recording and that kind of stuff. Now, back to work. Today we're rebuilding the 1970 Bolt Reptilia DR that we purchased from the barn for £33,187. This car's been rebuilt back to factory condition. This car has an amazing engine. It has a V8 2-carb 0HV Supercharged engine. It looks incredible. We'll have a look at it in a second. The car itself, it's a nice looking car. There's a little preview of the engine. 498 horsepower. It's got to be up there with some of the fastest cars we've done so far. We don't know too much about the car. There's lots of stuff that's probably not brilliant. The bodywork is actually in decent condition. Obviously, it will need putting back up to 100%, but it's not bad. And we're already making a slight loss if we were to sell it now. But it's confirmation of how much we bought it for from the barn. £33,187. Now let's have a proper look round the car. As I say, bodywork looks in very good condition, considering it's a barn find. And let's have a look at this engine. Look at that. A V8 supercharged 2-carb engine looks incredible. I'm looking forward to working on this. So let's start as we always do. Let's empty it all out once we get up in the air, and then let's crack on and actually get the car done. So all out, will it have anything inside? It does. Another reason we do this, so we don't get the trophy for spilling oil. The flashing in the background, you can just make it out there. That's the new tinting machine work tool. We're just going to click on it just to stop the flashing. It does get annoying. Now, we want this engine out. But before we do that, let's have a look. Let's take the bodywork off. We're kind of changing it up a little bit in what order we do stuff in, just to try and vary it more than anything else. So bodywork off first. There's a fair amount to come off, to be honest. Although a lot of the rear doesn't. There's no boot, strangely. You would have thought there would be, there isn't. Rear lights now as well. Let's get them off. Tail lights. If I can actually say the words, it would help. Yeah, I was expecting some sort of boot, but there isn't one. So left door off, and the front left fender. We've got the headlights and the front bumper still to go. And that is the bodywork basically dealt with. We'll sort that out when we do the suspension and stuff like that. But I think that is everything off. Nope, we missed the license plate. There we go. I'm just double checking there's nothing else to come off. No, bodywork is down to 1%. That's always a good indication you've got it all off. Now, internally, we need to take out the seats and the steering wheel. I didn't mean to actually go and sit in the car. It's actually a nice looking internal view, to be honest. But that wasn't meant to happen. So we'll take out the seats now. And I would say we'll take the steering wheel out, but I don't think there is one. No, it's just the connection, that's it. So back in the air, we now need to disconnect everything to get the engine out. So drive shaft off first. We've got the gearbox. There's no starter motor looking at that, so it's just the gearbox. Took them off. A couple of rusted bolts. Nothing major. We've got the exhaust system. Need to take that away. And I think that's it. Even for a rusted engine, it looks nice. So while this lowers down, we'll go off and get the engine crane. And we shall now get the engine out of the car. Just make sure there's nothing else we've missed that's connected that we need to deal with. I don't think there is. No, I think we're all good. While we're here, let's get rid of the fuse box. There's not much else in the engine bay itself. So while we take the engine out, we may as well take out everything else that's in there. It saves a bit of time later on. So fuse box can come out once we've got rid of all the fuses and relays. That's another job done. There we go. And let's get the engine out. Right, we're going to take it to the warehouse and do some work in it. Workshop, warehouse, one of the two. And let's have a look at this thing. Right, we're going to speed up the taking it apart. It does look incredible. There's quite a lot of work to do to take it apart. So we'll see you when we're done. Right, we're nearly there. So just got the camshaft and then the engine block itself, and we are done. So we're going to go off, fix everything, buy what we need. See you in a second. There we go. We've managed to buy everything. We've got stuff out of the warehouse as well to use. So we're going to put this back together. Again, we're going to speed this up. There is quite a bit of little bits to do. So like the rod push caps and all that kind of stuff, good stuff. So we're going to get this sped up, and we'll see you when it's nearly done. And we'll have a look at what it looks like. Right, we're getting there. So the carburetor is to go on the second one of two, as it's a 2-carb engine. And then we have our scoop air filters, 2 of those as well. And then we have our air scoop itself. Man, that makes the car look really good. It just sets the car apart, doesn't it? Now, we haven't quite finished, but I need to get stuff from the warehouse. I'll see you in a second. Right, I've managed to get the bits we needed. There was a few things we'd missed, but I didn't want to waste time in the warehouse. So I thought we'd just skip that bit out, and I've done it. So ignition-wise, some of these I had to buy. Serpentine belts you can't fix. They're never going to be in the warehouse. Right, we haven't got the fan. We need to do that. But we have got the engine head cover. I knew it was missing one. I just didn't know where it was, if we had one in the warehouse. I didn't want to waste money. If we've got it in the warehouse, we'll use it from the warehouse. Okay. Oil filter on as well now. And this side looks done. So let's buy the fan. And then I think that's the engine complete. Let's have a look. We can get a decent view on the front now. That should help. There we go. Now I think everything's now done. I'm pretty sure it is. No, we've missed one thing. There's always one. There we go. And now we're done. No, we're not. Gear side of stuff needs doing. There's always something I forget. I always get to it eventually, but you just forget as you're doing it. So clutch release bearings go on last. And there we go. We're done. Let's have a look at this beauty then. From a bit more of a distance, I think, as well. But it does look nice close up. There's so much detail in it. Look at that. And the air scoop, it really sets it apart. It is a massive engine though, it's a big lump. But definitely worth the time putting it back together and sorting it all out. Okay, let's head back to the car. And we are now going to take apart the suspension. That's the next job. So we'll take this apart and we'll see you when it's all done. And it does take a little while. So that is just about it all done. Just got the steering rack to take off, one other rubber bush, there's always one missing, and the suspension cross member. There we go. Now, we're going to have a quick look at a couple of things, just because I've been curious about them previously. I'm going to weld it first normally, that's a normal thing we do. How much will the weld cost this time? £1,250. It's not too bad. I like the fact it varies per car. I think that's a really nice addition. So every car will be a different amount. I think it's down to size and maybe condition, I'm not sure. Right, if we have a look at this, the interior is 25%. And I picked up on this the other week. I noticed we have an interior detailing tool. I wanted to know if this would change the percentage internally before we do the seats and all that. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And we know not to do it. But I thought we'd try. I always wash the cars and do the internal wash before we take them apart. Normally off camera. No, it doesn't make any difference at all, but that's what I wanted to make sure. It's just one of those things. If it gains us extra, it gains us extra. If it doesn't, we know we won't do it anymore. So that is the car, looking good without anything to it, to be honest. It does look a nice looking car. Right, we'll be back once we've fixed everything. So the suspension has all been fixed or brought, whatever was needed, and now we're going to put this all back together. Again, we're going to speed this up. We'll see you in a little while. Right, that's the majority done. There was a few things we haven't got. Let's put the big gearbox back on. And I don't think we've got a starter motor. No, we haven't. It didn't have one to start with, and I forgot to add one in, so add it to the shopping list. Let's get the exhaust system done. We haven't got the pipe to the other side. Again, didn't have one originally. It's one of those things that's easily missed. If it doesn't have it originally, you can easily miss these parts. I need to get into the habit of probably scanning this kind of stuff beforehand, what's missing and that kind of stuff, just to save ourselves a bit of time. We have the rear mufflers though, so that's a good start. We're going to quickly go and buy the bits we're missing, and we'll be back in a flash. Okay, so we've gone to the shop, we've got the bits we needed. I did check in the warehouse for a starter motor and things like that. But let's put it all back together properly now. I hate doing a half job, but it's so easy to miss things. So drive shaft back on. And we've got our middle mufflers. There we go. And I think that is just about all of it done. Let's bring it down then. Other than the liquids, I think still need doing, and we need to put the internals of the engine bay. I was trying to think what was left. We've attached the gearbox though and everything else, so that's all done and all connected. So actually, we don't need to go underneath the car again now. It's just a case of putting everything back in place, I think. So brake servo in. We've got to put all the relays and stuff like that back in. We have gone and brought these off camera, so it saves us a bit of time. So relays going in. I don't know if we've got the lid to this. Just had a thought. Don't know. Something we have to see. I can't remember if we have. There wasn't one to start with, I remember that. But I don't know if I've been clever enough to buy it in advance or not. I can't remember. While we're putting everything in this, the in-game events. The reason I'm keeping them on, I know I record in advance of time, and you will see certain decorations. Obviously, we did have it. Oh, brilliant! That are probably out of sync with time of year the actual episode goes live. But I kind of wanted to have them on because they look nice. I think it's quite nice to still have that realism to a point of time of year and stuff. So that's why they're kept on, just in case anyone was wondering. And the same with finding cars everywhere. I like the fact that you can't find them everywhere. You have to visit the auction, you have to go to the barn, you have to go to the scrapyard. I like that. I like that, not knowing what cars you're about to find. I think it's more random that they can't be everywhere. But that's a personal thing. Right, liquid's going in. I'm just jabbering for no reason, to be honest. So liquid's going in now. Power steering liquid. So what have we got left to do? We've got bodywork, internals, in terms of seats and stuff like that. And I think that's it. I think we're nearly getting there. It's not taken too long. It's been a nice car to rebuild. Let's try to get onto the brake servo. There we go. And it hasn't got a lot of parts missing, if that makes sense. For a barn find, you're generally quite lucky in terms of how much is there. I'm amazed at how good condition the bodywork was. So we were able to fix quite a bit. Obviously glass and stuff can't be. But we were managed to fix a lot of it. That saved us a massive amount of money. So hopefully that will reflect in the profit later on. So last to go in is the oil. And then that is all done. There we go. And then internals. Let's do the internals first. I was umming and ahhing bodywork, internals. Let's do internals. Right, I don't think we bought any of these, so we need to buy a steering wheel. Didn't have one, and we need to buy replacement seats. So for those that haven't looked into the bodywork, we don't show the bodywork side that much, but bodywork, not bodywork, the interior, that's what I should be calling it. So there's a steering wheel. Sometimes they're quite pricey, I must admit. Luckily it's only got 2 seats. We don't have to buy anything for the back. So that should save us a little bit of money. There we go. And we hadn't, I hadn't done license plates. That was the other thing I was forgetting about. They're so easily missed until you come to put stuff on the actual bodywork on, and then you think, I haven't done license plates. Frustrating. Okay, let's put the seats and the steering wheel back in place. There we go. Steering wheel in first. 2 seats. annoying you can't reupholster or fix seats, only in the fact that when they're like 90%, it's a waste to buy something new, but we're trying to get the car back to 100%, so we haven't got much choice. But it does feel like a waste sometimes when you're breaking this stuff down for scrap, although we get more scrap for it because it's better condition, but we're getting there. So rear bumper, tail lights, right and left, nicely done. License plate, now remember to go actually replace them. Left front door. Oh, there's only doors left and right, there's no rears. Wing mirror or side mirror. And we've got a front left fender. It does look nice. I'm still umming around what colour to do. It's my choice of colour for this one. I'm still not sure, because the black does look really nice, so I don't want to take that away too much. And I love how the air filter comes out of the top of the bonnet. I do like that. So there we have it. That's the Bolt Reptilia, rebuilt to factory standards. Now we've got a few little bits to do, and I've got to do some paint, and we'll come back when we have done the paint and we'll show you what we've done, and then we'll look at the leaderboards and go from there. So here we are. This is what I went for. I wanted to keep the black. The black looked really nice, but I thought we'd add the white stripe in, and I think that really sets it off. I love the wheels. The writing, the white writing on the wheels really helps as well. So I thought the black and white effect would be really nice. I think it's one of the nicest ones we've done so far. I think it looks the part really well. And for a car from 1970, it still looks pretty nice. Some of them look, I say that badly, but some of them do look horrendous. And that whiz, that's the Supercharger. That is their 2-carb 2HV Supercharged engine whizzing away there. Right, let's head to the track. Let's see what this can do around the high-speed racetrack. Okay, this is us just starting or ending the second lap, starting our third lap, and this was our fastest lap of the session of 5. The car was a handful, I'm not going to lie. It was horrendous to drive. Wasn't sticking to the road. As you can see, we're a little bit all over the place trying to correct ourselves. It has a lot of speed. It gets up to speed pretty quickly, but you try and apply any of that speed on any of the corners, it doesn't like it. The back end will kick out. You've got to really drive carefully with this thing to keep it on the road. Brakes aren't brilliant either. It was a handful, but this was our best time of 5. You can see the improvement. Standing start was at 159. We got down to 153, and our 4th and 5th laps weren't that far off this lap, to be honest. They were very close, just not quite as good as this lap. But it is, the power is brilliant on the straights, just the corners you've got to be so careful. And trying to accelerate and steer, doesn't like it at all. So it is a very much a handful of a car. Braking heavily for the corners. I have to brake a little bit early because the brakes aren't brilliant. I'm looking forward to actually doing a performance version where we can actually upgrade the brakes. That'd be quite cool. So a couple of more corners to go. I'm still on for decent time looking at it. Hear the whizzing of the Supercharger. Topping out there, we actually hit the rev limiter, which wasn't the best thing. Only got 4 gears. Right, last corner to go. We are going to cross the line in a 1:43.307. That is top of the leaderboard by 1.4 seconds. That is an incredible time. Now, top speed. If you spotted the issue we had in the lap time, where we topped out at 4th gear very quickly, you can always imagine what's going to happen on this then. So it only has 4 gears, and we're about to hit the rev limiter already. This car is going to struggle to go much faster, because we're just hitting the rev limiter every time, which is knocking us back. So it needs a better gearbox. That's definitely going to have to happen on the performance version. And we are actually going to top out at 231 kilometers per hour, which is 143.537 miles per hour. And that's 4th place on the leaderboard. So for a car that smashes the top speed for the lap by 1.4 seconds, can only manage 4th in the top speed leaderboard. And that is all because it just tops out in 4th gear. Now, I get out the car and I had a look at this. It's just something I've been playing with in my head as well. Conditions all 100%, okay? But the car looks dirty, and I've been wondering about this for a little while. So we can currently sell the car for £86,302. That's still a really good profit. We'll do the numbers in a second, but we're going to go and wash the car, because I found if you wash the car, the value goes up. It's not a massive amount, but every little helps. I know we've got plenty of money because of all the cars we've done and rebuilt and all that good stuff, but there's nothing wrong with taking the extra bit of profit where you can. So we are going to go off and wash the car, and we'll look at the difference between the prices. Whilst we're doing that, we'll talk a few of the numbers now. So we bought the car for £33,187. We spent £18,539 fixing it all up. So a total cost of £51,726. We're going to do the internal as well. So if you think about our total cost, let's have a look at the difference. Remember, we're previously able to sell the car £86,302. What is the price now? Is there a difference? There is. We can now sell it for £86,827. Oh, it's about a £500 increase, but it's £500. So we're going to sell it for that price, and that will give us a profit of £35,101. It's not as big a profit as I thought we was going to make, but it's a decent profit nonetheless. So in future, we're washing the cars after we've done the lap time and after the top speed test. We're going to wash the cars to get the maximum price out of these. I didn't know it was a thing. I just noticed the dirt and wondered, would it work? Would it change? It does. So, Bolt Reptilia DR from 1970 done. First on the leaderboard by 1.4 seconds. How long will it take for something else to beat it? Thanks for watching.